Welcome to Short Scale Modelling. This is part 9 of Warslug's The British Armoured Car, scale 1 to 35. Now this is the last part of the build, the final review, but before we get into that, my thoughts about the kit as always. As I said in part 1 at the very beginning of the build, I don't actually know anything about the Warslug brand. I assume it's Chinese because the majority of the instructions is Chinese, but it is translated into English as well. So that also that's a plus side for the English-speaking market. I got this kit down in Bovington Tank Museum in England. Um, I haven't seen this kit anywhere else, so I don't know whether it's an exclusive thing for Bovington Tank Museum or I just haven't seen it. Either way, it's worth looking out for. Straight off about the kit when I seen it on the shelf was the artwork on the box. I thought it was very nicely done, and as soon as I picked up and had a look at it, I thought, oh, I'd like to do this kit, and with that in combination, the fact that the vehicle was in the tank museum itself, what for me it was a must-have. But as I said, I'm sure you must be able to get this kit outside the tank museum, but it is worth having a look for. So on to the kit itself. First of all, the instructions. The instruction comes in two parts. You have the main build construction, and you have a separate booklet for the paint guide and markings. Or the paint guide and markings, they're nicely laid out. There's not much painting involved as such, different colours, but the gives you the option of a couple of different brands for you to have a look at if you don't have one particular brand. The paint instructions are in colour as well, which is extremely helpful. And more so, there's a couple of detailed photos of the actual vehicle as well to have a look at. The kit gives you two options for variants. You have a 1939 variant, which is from the Royal Tank Corps in Derbyshire, and then you have an earlier version, a 1923 version, and that's from the RAF Armoured Company for Iraq. Now, during the build, I actually got slightly mixed up. I kept on saying in the build the gun placements. The earlier version doesn't have the top gun. It's the other way around. The early version does have the top gun. The later version doesn't. So if you watch the build log, you're probably wondering what the hell I was talking about. And I just realised my mistake as I was going through the build log doing this review. So, but I'm not going to go back and re-edit all the videos because it would just take too long. The kit itself, the sprues are extremely well molded. They're very clean. There's not much contact points between the injection tree of the sprue to the actual part as well. So this lends to a very minimum amount of cleanup when you take the part off the sprue. Some of the downsides of that, the plastic can be quite thin on some parts, and they need a lot of careful removal before you place them on. Now, there's one I removed, I snapped because I didn't follow my own build technique, which is taping up the part on the sprue before removing it. I just ploughed on and I snapped apart. It wasn't a big deal, it was an easy fix, but it was still slightly annoying. The kit is highly detailed for the vehicle of its time. There's a lot of work in the engine. Now, the engine itself is a basic engine, which you would expect from the age of that type of vehicle. But the manufacturers of the kit, I think, are putting as much detail as they possibly can while it's still workable as a model kit. The contrast colours of the copper and black really do stand out well. And it does lend to you wanting to build it without putting the coverings on, which I did, of course. The construction of the armor part of the vehicle where the driver sits, and I think it's very rustic, but within its placement of the actual vehicle itself, it's quite a good construction. There's not much to it, but you can see the amount of detail in it anyway. hence why I think this kit benefits from having everything open so you can glimpse inside of it. So overall, the kit is a really good build. It can be quite technical though, especially the sachet area and the drivetrain and things like that. There's a lot of work involved in that. A lot of work that you possibly wouldn't see depending on how you're going to be displaying the model. And because of that technical work, I would only recommend this kit for intermediate builders and upwards. A beginner shouldn't touch this kit. They wouldn't get the maximum out of it. It would technically be too difficult for someone, I think. And it's only because of that part of the vehicle. The armament and the turret and everything is a standard build. It wouldn't pose a problem for any level of experience, but it's just where all the drivetrains, exhaust systems, and things like that. As I said, it's quite technical, so yeah, a beginner would find it difficult. There's only a few decals to go for on this kit. Now, I opted not to place the outer decals on, like the number plate, the markers. That's something I generally do. I prefer the decals not to go on these armor vehicles. Again, it's personal preference. They can go on, and I'm sure that they would look really nicely. And going with the kit, the way the kit was built, I'm sure that they'd be very good decals, but I just didn't use them. So overall, this is an extremely good kit to build. I enjoyed it immensely. There was enough in there to challenge me to keep my interest in the build, not to race ahead, even though a couple of times I probably did. But yeah, it was a good technical build, and I couldn't rate this kit high enough. One little note I noticed while editing the final review, there on top of the turret, there's a slight gap in it. I didn't notice it when I built it. The top must have slipped while I was building another part of the car. I don't know how it happened because the rest of the kit fitted perfectly, but I noticed there was a slight gap. I will go back and repair it, but not in time for editing this video. So when you see the final review, there is a little tiny hairline gap that needs to be addressed. It doesn't really take much away from the build, but it is noticeable. So at the end of this, obviously there's the usual short video and slideshow of the completed build. After you've had a watch of that, why don't you jump over to the channel and see if there's anything there that'll pique your interest. If you want to see anything get built by myself, give me a shout and I'll see what I can do. If I haven't got the kit, I'll see if I can get a hold of it if it's possible. So with that in mind, and if you want to see something like that, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date with all my future builds, especially if I build something that you're interested in. Hit the like button, don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. So I hope you enjoyed the final reveal as much as I enjoyed building the kit, and I'll see you on my next build. Bye for now.